hey, we're gonna go fight these guys, titties. Welcome back, nerds, to the It's More Than a Cartoon podcast. My name's Will, here today with my co-host Kyle. Today, guys, we're going to talk about something very exciting that comes around a few times a year, and that is the new anime releases. And this is obviously summer, so summer anime releases are right around the corner. The newest episodes and the first releases should start rolling out here in just a few days. And let me tell you, when I say there's some bangers coming out this season, there's some great anime coming out this season. Anime fans will be eating good. And let me just say, there's certain anime that I'm currently a fan of before it gets overrated, right? Like there's anime that's coming out that I'm a fan of before everybody says that's overrated. I made a post a long time ago when before Solo Leveling was an anime, and I was like, just so everybody knows, I'm a fan of Solo Leveling before everybody starts saying it's overrated. And then I tried to go back and find that post, and I couldn't find it.
That is insane. We got so much going on right now. And then before we get into that, let's first off talk about what happened in the spring section. But just a little highlight. There is so much coming this summer that I feel like the whole grasp of the situation that is a lot of animes might get overshadowed of just how much is being released this summer. When I saw when everything's coming out, I was baffled.
It's
a huge insane.
Amount. Yeah.
It is stuff that people have been waiting for, and stuff we're not really anticipating, but it's coming out. Like, okay, I'm gonna put that as a top priority versus maybe a new anime coming out. But spring was a good year. I think there was a lot of good, but ultimately a lot of bad for spring. Everyone said we were going to eat good last spring, but a lot of bad. I mean, specifically, you're going to talk about T-Bait, the most anticipated one. Yes, it was a big downfall. A lot of hype was going into Fire Force season 3, which, I mean, so far Fire Force is doing what Fire Force does. Now
it's good. It's just fun. It's just such a fun show. I'm about halfway through season 3.
Okay,
it's fun.
How do you feel about the fan service? Because that's the one thing I keep on hearing people talk about.
Here's the thing. So Fire Force fan service, I used to be like, I'm okay with it because it's not gratuitous in the sense that it's like all the time, like High School DxD and stuff like that.
Right.
But I was never a huge fan of it. But was it at the end of season 2 or season 3 that, because the fan service is more or less, it's limited to one character, right? Tamaki. And
100%.
They describe why these things happen.
Yes,
she literally has the Lucky Lecher lure that is one of her.
She's
abilities.
Cursed.
I might be saying it might not exactly be the Lucky Lecher, but she has that curse, and that's why it happens to her.
So for those who don't know what it is, real quick though, sorry, is that pretty much for her ability to work, accidents, bad things happen to her technically for her ability to work. So that's pretty much the lore. It's cause and effect of what happens, like yin and yang. It's good and bad.
Yeah, it's the negative side of the positive. So for her to have her powers, that's the price, the equivalent exchange, so to speak, that she has to pay for her powers. And
makes sense, but it's to the extreme though.
Yes, but they put a reasoning behind it. And they put a description on it, and you actually see it coming into play and saving her sometimes.
Yeah.
And so while I'm like, okay, we could do without it, but at least they've given it reasoning, they've given it backstory. This is why this happens to this character all the time, so that at least you can look at, and also I appreciate that she's not like actually naked. You're not seeing like titties and like everything. At least she keeps her clothes on, or she's covered up most of the time, but you can see it when it happens now. And I'm like, okay, maybe I would.
You kind of predict it almost,
yes. And you're like, now I understand the reason behind it. This is her price to pay for her abilities. Is it silly? Yes. Is it over 100%. The top? Yes. Is it unnecessary? Kind of. But at least it makes sense, and it's not just like, hey, we're gonna go fight these guys, titties. Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
It's like, it's not DxD pretty much. Like they don't get their powers from this. It's just bad luck. That's just pretty much how it is. And people want to argue with it. I understand it. I understand if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. But bashing on something when there's already been explained of why this happens, it makes sense. Like I said, it's over the top.
They've written it into the story, at least.
It's not to the extent of what everyone's claiming it to be. Now, there's certain tropes in anime I do think that are are a little bit much, but also, it's different for culture wise. I understand that. But getting back to the animes, I do want to talk about Lazarus. Have you watched this season?
I watched the first 2 episodes,
Mm-hmm.
and so Shinichiro Watanabe, I love his body of
Mm-hmm.
work. My
I figured
favorite
you
anime of all
would.
time is Cowboy Bebop,
Yep.
and then I love Samurai Champloo. That's
Yes.
by him as well. And so when they started talking about Lazarus coming out, and then Watanabe actually confirmed that Cowboy Bebop, Samurai Champloo, and Lazarus take place in the same universe at different timelines.
Hold up.
Yeah, which is cool. Uh-huh.
What?
Yes. That I've been like, I watched the first show, I was like, okay, this intrigues me. I want to wait till it's all out so I can
Right.
watch it all. And so now it's been in the back of my mind. I'm trying to go through I'm trying to watch through Evangelion, and then
Gosh.
like going through, and like I'm on my third watch through of Attack on Titan as well. So I go through and I watch a couple episodes of that. Lazarus is probably the next thing that I'm gonna sit down and be like, all right, let's see what's up with this.
First off, Evangelion, most hated anime for me
Really?
personally. I cannot stand it. But Lazarus, the fact that you have an anime universe going on, because the only other one that I know specifically of is when I found out Soul Eater and Fire
Yep.
Force, so it ties in,
Yep.
that they are in the
Soul Eater is
same
one of my
universe.
favorites from back in the day.
It
Yep.
it blew my mind. It makes me enjoy watching Fire Force
Yep.
even more. So the
Yep.
fact is they're just in a different timeline. Beautiful. I love how people are doing anime universes now, and I think because they've seen it work with Marvel so well, that is genius. Question though, with let's say Lazarus, Cowboy Bebop, Champloo, is it the art style? Is it the story? Is it just all around? Like, what
I think
made you
it's
like really fall in love with it?
I think it's both. It's
Really?
I mean, the story in, so really I can only speak to Cowboy Bebop and
Mhm.
Samurai Champloo because I haven't watched all of Lazarus yet.
Right, right.
The story in both is great. I would say the story in Cowboy Bebop is a lot better than Samurai Champloo. I would also hazard to say the story in Cowboy Bebop is so good and so deep that 90%
Mhm.
of people who've watched it don't truly understand. The
Right.
beauty of Cowboy Bebop is you got 26 episodes where you're
Mhm.
following Spike, Faye, and Jet, and they're
Mhm.
bounty hunters, and they're broke, and they're just running around doing all this stuff. But then you get these snippets of their past. You get an episode dedicated to Faye's past. She used to be a con woman. You get an episode
Okay.
dedicated to Spike's past. He used to be in the syndicate. You get an episode dedicated to Jet's past. He used to be a cop. And then you get like, they go on these adventures, and then people show up from their past and make things happen.
Mhm.
And you realize that Cowboy Bebop is very unique in that it's an anime that's not about the main characters' main stories. Because if you really pay attention, you see that what we get in the 26 episodes of Cowboy Bebop, this is after the main stories of their lives have already happened. All of the
Wow.
main events of their lives have passed, and now they're in the fallout, the aftermath, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
They've fled what they, their lives were, and they're trying to get by. And I think that's
Wow.
the beauty of Cowboy Bebop. And if you
Mhm.
watch it through that lens, and you're like, wow, it's very, very interesting. And then the art style is wonderful.
Okay.
The character design, I think Cowboy Bebop is very special because Steve Bloom and Mary Elizabeth McGlynn were given a lot of leeway from Magnitude 8 that they were working for when they did the dub,
Mhm.
because the sub wasn't doing super well. So they kind of got to
Amazingly
change
dubbed.
things and do things their
Beautifully.
own. Yeah. And like it
Spike's
made
voice
it,
is just one of my favorites.
yeah, made it really, really cool. And then you look at Samurai Champloo, and it's just like, what? Like Edo era Japan with
Mhm.
samurais, but there's like hip hop, like rap music in
Mhm.
the intro, and literally people walking around with microphones and like beatboxing and stuff, and some of the coolest fights ever. And
Okay.
you get this crazy juxtaposition of Gene, who's a Ronin samurai, who's like very strict and straight laced, who has, for whatever reason, betrayed his master, and Mugen, who's a Ronin in the true sense of Ronin, that he is just an outcast. He is on his own, and
Mhm.
they're both badasses. And
Right.
they find this weird common ground friction and decide to work together to go along this journey. And awesome fights ensue. There's a decent story along, funny. And I think the art style of it is very, and the music is so unique that that's a
Mhm.
big part of it. So why do I like Shinichiro Watanabe stuff? His stories are great. He puts together really interesting and unique worlds that I just vibe with. I
Right.
like the depth of the stories. I like that there's awesome action. Watching Spike Spiegel fight is it's unlike watching really any other character fight. Mugen fights a lot like Spike, but Mugen's more of a dancer, break dancer.
Yeah.
Spike fights like water. He doesn't even look like he's trying when he's fighting, and it's so cool to see. So those are some of the reasons why, and that's why I have high hopes for Lazarus.
See, that makes
Yeah.
me really excited because for me, I haven't seen Samurai, but I started Cowboy Bebop. I put it on the back burner because for me, the first impression I was getting, oh, this is going to be your basic cable. You have poor bounty hunters and they're always looking for their next gig. Something, is going to go wrong, but then they find a way to fix it halfway towards the end of the episode.
Which
But
that is part
with
of
what
it.
you just said, though, like there's more like depth to it. I'm actually excited to see it. So really excited about that. But
I'll tell you, and one other really cool thing about Cowboy Bebop.
it's a can of worms, and we opened it.
Yeah. In Cowboy Bebop, Spike Spiegel's love interest from his past, her name is Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Julia in the English dub. Julia in the English dub is played by Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Spike Spiegel is played by Steve Bloom.
Okay.
Now, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Spike Spiegel are married. I'm sorry, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn and Steve Bloom are married now.
What?
Yeah, so Steve Bloom literally married the love interest of Spike Spiegel, Julia's voice actress.
Dude, that's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Anime brings people together. I love it.
But let's talk about, before we jump into the listing off some of the most anticipated of this summer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about like what our 3 highlights were. Just personal ones that we enjoyed from spring, and also side note, everybody watching, we're not gonna go over everything that's coming out. We're gonna go over what we think is the most exciting.
So much.
Yeah.
Yes. Just a highlight for the spring, I'll talk about how Windbreaker season 2 came back because everyone was so upset with Windbreaker season 1. Now, for me personally, I have not watched season 2. I don't know if I'm going to watch season 2 because it's just I'm not really big into the whole school fighting stuff and all that. It's cool, but I'm more in the K-drama kind of style of school fighting. So I don't know about anime. We'll see. I might give another shot. I never really gave Tokyo Revengers a shot, but it had a bounce back.
Delivered
It really did
what Tokyo Revengers promised and didn't deliver.
Okay. So other ones that stood out was From Old Country Bumpkin to Master Swordsman. A lot of people watched it. They weren't actually expecting it to do very well because they thought it was going to be your generic anime. But the fact is there was some plot, with some of his students that made people watch, but then actually realized it actually has a pretty decent story. But then also another one that stood out was Kowloon, I think they pronounce it Kowloon, generic romance.
Kowloon.
This one threw everyone for a loop because you actually had a romance anime be about romance, and it's not like your typical stuff. Yes, there was some very basic stuff you see in the anime, but after the first episode of what people saw, they're like, I'm gonna give this anime a shot, which I think that's what they're doing now. They're just kind of giving everything in the first episode to drag people in, to at least hook them for another couple episodes, because if they can do that, then they might watch the rest of the episode, like the season. But with what happened the first episode, those who know and seeing how she appears and dresses, that's why a lot of people watched it. You also have Brilliant Healer, you have Can a Boy Friendship Survive, those. But this season,
I love that our tastes are so different.
Oh yeah, 100%. This season was Gooner season, and I have not watched a specific, not one. I've not watched a single episode of any of these. Hand to God, all that. Am I going to? Probably. Content, right? Please put them on me, Takumi-san. This one you couldn't go anywhere. You could not go anywhere. We're seeing snippets, and I'm surprised they're actually allowed to put this on social media, because if you know what the anime is about, wow. The fact is, I heard, or it is currently getting dubbed. Very, very risky. I don't understand that one. You had the you had Yandere Elf, which that one I do not think I'm gonna watch. I really don't think I'm gonna watch that one. You also have Machina Sun's A Love Robot or Love Bot. That one, not even gonna touch with a 10-foot pole. That is why would you watch that?
I mean, we know why.
But still, dude, it just it's like they took the if you want to know what it is, pretty much they took Plastic Memories.
I know what it is.
and flipped it a little more onto the 18+ side. But Moonrise was probably my favorite and most underappreciated anime that came out. One thing, Wit
I
Studio,
would agree.
anything with Wit Studio, I'm going to watch. I love Wit Studio. Another one besides, you have, if you don't know who Wit Studio, what they've done is pretty much Attack on
AOT.
Titan.
Yeah, the first 3 seasons.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect. But
So
another
on
one people don't know
a
is
tangent for
Kabanari.
yes, we do like
Kabanari.
Wit Studio. Blue Box. Have you watched Blue Box?
I don't know if I'm ready to be hurt for that though.
I mean, it's good. It's good, but it is so Wit like animates it, and it is beautiful.
So I got to keep my word because I did say anything Wit produces, I have to watch. So I guess I have to watch it now. I didn't know they did that though. That's really interesting.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Man.
I think my 3 highlights. We'll save the best for last, I guess.
What do you mean by best?
The one that I think is the best. We'll save.
Okay, actually the best. Okay.
Yeah, we'll save this. We'll save the one that I think is the best for last. I
Right.
really enjoyed Moonrise. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a very interesting take. It was very exciting.
A little generic, but it's just the twist.
Sure, but it's fun.
Lots of
And
twists.
so I made a video about it saying how much I liked it, and people are like, "Dude, this anime sucks." I'm like, "Well, good thing that's your opinion, and this is my opinion."
Yeah.
I liked Moonrise. I've only watched 2 episodes of Lazarus. I'll give that the honorable mention that I think that's really, really cool. I'm going to throw this one out there because I don't think it was actually spring. I think it might have been winter, but I saw almost nobody talking about it. It was Wisteria Wand and Sword.
That was, I think, winter.
It was so good. I loved it so much. The main character's name is Will as well, so that's helpful. Like I
appreciate the animation of it, but if I'm being honest, Wisteria, it just, the story wise, it kind of made me feel like a little bit My Hero of how they're kind of going with the path a little bit. But they mixed obviously with, kind of have the Harry Potter feel because of the magic. You have also the swords. It
made me feel like Harry Potter and Dungeon Meshi.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it made me feel like.
Okay.
I like that type. I love dungeon crawler stuff, so I like Delicious and Dungeon a lot.
Okay.
But what I think
okay.
is the best thing that came out in spring, and I'm only on like episode 9, but I say this because the writing is being done so well that even at episode 9, I can see the web that's being woven. And I don't even know like if you would call it anime or not, but everybody is calling it anime, is To Be Hero X. Like it's like a collaboration.
100%.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm on, like I said, I'm only on episode 9, but
I'll consider it anime, but real purist wouldn't. Yeah.
Whatever. But I mean, we just had a manhwa win so like anime of the year, so like times are changing, I suppose. To Be Hero X is so good. The stories that they're weaving are so good. They can seamlessly follow one character's arc for like 3 or 4 episodes.
Right.
At the end of an episode, you see another character, and then all of a sudden, the next episode, we're following that character's arc for 3 or 4 episodes, and you're like, "What's happening?" And I can see that, and I can say, well, they're about to intersect. It's telling the backstory about to become this penultimate moment, right, where something crazy is going to happen. So I think those are some, Lazarus, To Be Hero X, and Moonrise.
Is there another one you wished you'd watched?
I wished T-Bait would have been better. I had so much high hopes because I knew how well Solo Leveling did, how good T-Bait is. My best friend reads tons of manhwa and tons of manga, and he's like, dude, the beginning after the end is so good. So I watched trailers about it and read like some fan trailers about it, and they looked so awesome. And then it was like I've said in the past, I don't think it was bad. It was just generic.
Yeah.
It wasn't like exciting to watch, right? Like if we didn't have, if we were still in the era, honestly, even if we were just only had options like Yu Yu Hakusho and Evangelion and stuff like that, it would still look bad because you put T-Bait next to Evangelion, which is 30 years old, and Evangelion smokes it.
The animation of the mecha, I have to give Evangelion, even though I hate it, the mecha animation is phenomenal. I just, yeah, okay. But for me, a spring anime I will watch, and I'm anticipating to watch, even though I know it's gonna be your generic harem trash, is Summer Pockets. All right, I'm just in a harem kick right now. Like I said, we talked about it last episode. I'm just in it. I'm getting close to the end of tying the knot of Amigami Sisters. Holy crap, dude! It's got so much plot to it. I'm freaking on like the edge of my seat. Like, all right, next episode. Like that's what I'm watching right after this.
I'm really
super excited.
An anime. You're like,
exactly.
Oh my God, and I have to
romance harem, dude.
I have to give Attack on Titan credit. I'm on my 3rd watch through, And
Oh,
it's still, I'll end an episode and I'm like, dang, I gotta watch another one. Dang, I
dude.
gotta watch another. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 a.m. One more. One more.
The amount of chipping away I have been doing at my wife just for her to watch, because I know she'll love it. I know she'll love it. But it's like, it's a commitment. It really is. And I told her, I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's probably one of the best ones you watch. It's a masterpiece, but you may or may not like the ending. A lot of people are 50-50. For me, I appreciate it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
the whole story. But I was like,
I don't like, for the ending of Attack on Titan, without spoiling anything, I don't like, how do I put this? I don't like what happened, but I appreciate that it wasn't your standard stereotypical pretty bow, present wrapped ending, right? Like sometimes
exactly.
it's nice for something to not end in a happy way, just for the impact that it leaves on you. Because
Well,
if you think of Attack on Titan from the beginning to the end, it's not a happy story. It's a tragedy of
exactly.
what's happening.
Exactly.
So it makes sense that it should end in tragedy, leaving some questions open about like the deep meanings behind it. God, we could do an hour on the deep meanings behind Attack on Titan and the
There's
questions and the
so many
allegories
things
to
how they were
modern
showing
life.
you everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
I truly think Attack on Titan is Isayama's like
it's a
art
masterpiece.
of saying, hey, here is a type and shadow of humanity. And then he put it into a manga.
So with that kind of, and also tying back into last week's episode about Rent a Girlfriend, because I had my wife listening to it and I was kind of giving her the plot of it, why she's like, why was I so upset with it? Because I was telling her this is how it was. She made a point to me that like blew my mind, and I have to like give her full credit on this. And she's like, no, don't say it was me. I was like, you need full credit for this because it's so amazing. The fact is, she said they went into that relationship with a lie. They started their relationship off of a lie. What did you expect was going to happen? And I was like, when she said that, all the pain, the frustration went away.
Because you're like, oh man, this should have happened. But when you
Exactly.
look at that framework, where you're like,
You look at Attack on
okay,
Titan. How did they go into the first episode? It was never going to be a happy ending. It was not a happy start. So how is it going to be a happy ending? So once I realized that, and since she said like someone who doesn't watch anime can realize something like that, I'm like,
yeah,
wow.
what's a
It
trip?
really blew my mind.
What's a big trip about Attack on Titan, watching it through for the third time? Once you get into the fourth season, you start to realize, like, spoiler, I mean, not a huge spoiler, but like Eren, through the founder Titan powers, can essentially time travel, more or less. And then so I'm like, okay. And then now I'm watching through it the third time. There's probably about 4 or 5 times where like little things happen where Eren or one of the other warriors or warrior candidates will wake up and say crazy things like, Falco. You remember Falco, right? So in the first, it's like the third episode of season 4, when you really are first introduced to the warrior candidates, and those 4 or 5, the younger kids, and they're like doing that battle and then Reiner and Zeke come and they drop the Titans on this one city, right? Well, Falco is out with Colt and almost dies, and Colt drags him back, and Falco's like knocked out, and they're in the trenches, right? Falco wakes up and is confused, and everyone's like, oh my god, Falco, you're alive. And he goes, this is the first experience you have of Falco, and he's not a warrior.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, that's weird. I just had a dream that I was flying and I had 2 swords in my hands. I saw that, I was like,
Dude, that blew my
whoa.
mind. And then another time that also blew my mind with Attack on Titan was there's so many like details we can go into it, but like I think when that like kind of like I was like, that's freaking awesome. But it's such a small thing for me, I think, when you look at it. But like when Eren was talking about how he can control his healing abilities. So when he grows back his leg and like his eye, and I'm like,
yeah,
dude, there's so much depth to his power that he's learning and all. I'm like, there's so much to unravel there. But like once I saw that, I was like, I was freaking out because I was like, okay, maybe he just can't grow back. Maybe like I was hoping they go down a rabbit hole with how they talk about how you can't heal after a certain point, or maybe there be this or that. I was like really excited about that. But then he's like, no, I can control when I heal.
But you have to understand, he possesses the founding Titan power.
Yeah.
So he possesses the ultimate a power of all the Titans. So it's possible that he's the only one that can do that. Possibly. But yeah. So Attack on Titan is so good. I mean, last thing, and then let's get into summer anime.
Yeah.
I made a video talking about how, like, I think there's this really interesting juxtaposition where you can say people just need to like understand that it's okay to enjoy solo leveling. Easy, fun, right on. But I can also have the perspective of saying like, hey, the majority of anime fans don't appreciate deeper stories, right? And so I was talking about that, and somebody commented, they were saying that like Attack on Titan is way too long and boring. And I was like, you're proving my point, because Attack on Titan's only 90 some odd episodes. It's not a long anime.
Forget that. Boring?
I can't tell you how often I hear Attack on Titan's boring. Oh, okay. I respect more the opinion where people are like, it's too intense. It's too intense for me to watch. Totally
Yes.
respect that.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
But
my
boring.
barber, so I got a haircut yesterday. My barber was like, yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of Attack on Titan. He's like, it was super intense, dude. And so I kind of put it down. And I was like, I challenge you to try it again, because it's not brutal just for the sake of being brutal. It sets up the stage of this very, very savage, ruthless world.
Character development. That's
like,
what it is.
It works. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, let's talk about summer anime.
I'm
let's
ready.
let's talk about the sequels that are coming out first.
Reoccurring anime that are coming back. I'm super excited. First off, everyone's got to talk about it because it's probably the most controversial going into season 2. Dandadan.
Yes, and we can say the same stuff that we said with Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan's brutal, but it's not brutal just for the sake of shock and awe. Dandadan is weird and has some like super like skeevy moments, but it's not like that just to be perverted. It actually has meaning in the show. It sets the tone. Like in season 1, the things that happen where Momo gets abducted and they're gonna like, you know, essay her and stuff, and then like Okura.
That's what everyone's talking about mainly. Yeah.
That's what everybody's talking about. They're like, oh my god, this is disgusting. Yes, it is disgusting, but it sets the tone for this.
It's not for the lighthearted.
No, and like imagine like your Momo and Okarun, and all of a sudden like, oh, aliens are real, spirits and demons are real. Oh my gosh, I'm possessed by a demon and now I have these superpowers. Oh my gosh, I'm actually a spirit medium and I have these superpowers. Oh my god, we're meeting all these other, like, it's not gonna be a freaking love story about what's happening. Messed up crap's gonna happen, and it sets the stage for that.
The romance, though, that's what I do love. The romance. I'm gonna be fully honest. I know you're more the action. The romance side of it, though, some of it is just like so emotional. And then when you look at the edits people are making, I'm like, I'm gonna go watch season 1 again. I actually enjoyed it.
Is so cringy, like the part where they accidentally kiss and clack their teeth
together. I hate that.
I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know
we all knew it was coming. It was painful, but like when she finds out his name. And the edits, dude, whoever's doing these edits, I was like, I'm kind of awkward guy. And then, you know, what's your name? And then boom, explosion and all that. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. But then also the part leading up before the kiss of how they both want to talk to each other. Like, oh, I want to talk about aliens. Oh, I want to talk about ghosts.
Like missing each other.
Dude, when he's walking away after what happened with the, like, you know, the potential SA, losing his balls, all that stuff. When he's leaving and she says, you know, see you later, Okarun. I was like, dude, loved it. I love stuff like that. So they're doing very well with adding great romance, but at the same time, they're pushing boundaries. So you kind of, it evens out. It really does even out. But talking about pushing boundaries, let's skip that and go to finalization. Demon Slayer. This is it. Like, we are done after this.
Can we even really consider that summer though, because we're getting
it's
the Demon Slayer
in September, right?
In September, yeah.
I
guess that technically that's before
on the
October.
back end.
Yeah, so Demon Slayer's an interesting one because they're deciding to release the Infinity Castle in like 3 movies or something, which instead of a series. Which what'll happen is they'll come out in movies and then they'll get chopped up into like 3 or 4 episodes per movie, and so we'll get a season. Demon Slayer is going to be fantastic. I'm
advocating for it though, because I did like Mugen Train, and so I thought that they did better with that. But I do know some spoilers about it, and once I saw like how they're kind of giving you little hints, it really did ruin it for me. So I'm not really excited to see the movies. I'm really not.
I don't know spoilers, but I have like a few people have said a few things that make me think a certain way.
You have a couple assumptions.
I don't know. Really anything, but like, okay, maybe some stuff happens, but I think Demon Slayer is one of those ones that like I'll defend it all day long, like solo leveling. Because I would say Demon Slayer has more story, it has more depth than solo leveling, while saying surface level, but it has
Okay.
just enough story to keep things going, but
Okay.
you can connect with the main character. And it's one of those anime that like you can just sit down and have fun and it's enjoyable to watch. It's beautiful. You get hyped for it.
Right.
I can't tell you how many hyped moments I've been for watching Mugen
Yeah.
Train. Spoiler for Mugen Train. If you haven't seen it, sucks to suck. I apologize. It's
The
been years
spear
since it came
throw,
out. The
him
when
yelling.
well, like the emotional roller coaster, because I went to see Mugen
Mm.
Train in the theater, right? So the
Oh,
emotional roller coaster
lucky.
you go on when you're
Right.
like, oh my God, they're fighting the demon on the train. Oh my gosh, they're not going to win. Oh my God, they won. Oh my God, the train crashed. Oh my God, there's an upper moon here. We thought everything was over. Now here's the upper moon. Oh my God, Rengoku is actually badass. He might, oh no, he freaking dies. Like this, the last 30 minutes of Mugen Train, you're just
It's
going on
just
this
so
emotional
pain.
roller coaster.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
going on a
care
ride.
what you say. Most anime don't do that to you.
Nope.
And deep story or not, like if a show and an anime can make you like go like this with your emotions,
Mhm.
and you're like, oh, then that's worth it. Like when another example is when My Hero Academia was happening and All Might was doing his last fight against All for One, spoilers, before
Dude,
he like
chills.
he has to retire from being a pro hero, right? That episode, I'm like, I had to pause it like 3 or 4 times, and I walked like my wife was in the bedroom. I walked in, I was like, I'm pretty
So much
sure
is
they're about
going
to
on.
kill All Might. I'm pretty sure they're about. I've been
Oh, you thought he was
watching.
gonna
I
die.
thought he was going to die. Yeah, I've been
Oh,
watching My Hero Academia since the day it came out, and
yeah,
so like
yeah.
I'm invested, and I'm like,
Right.
I was like, All Might's going to die. They're going to freaking kill him. Like he's going to die, and he didn't die, and I was like, oh,
Oh,
okay, God, thank
dude.
you.
The amount of emotions you must have been going through.
Demon
Oh,
Slayer did that, so
right.
I'm stoked for Infinity
But they
Council.
committed to it though.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, Demon Slayer actually did it. But what was interesting is like what they did in the Mugen Train with Rengoku is like
Mhm.
you only get Rengoku really in that little arc. You don't
Yeah.
really get much of him before,
I do like the backstory they gave him though.
and then you get the backstory about afterwards
Mhm.
after it all happens.
Mhm.
Yeah, where
Yeah.
his dad's a alcoholic, all this stuff. So Demon
Great
Slayer
dad, right? You
is
know, one of
yeah,
the top ones.
good job, dad. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle will be a lot of fun. It's going to be a
Mhm.
huge success. It's going to be
Yes.
great.
Excited.
And going back to Dandadan, I'm excited about shows that are pushing the envelope like that. Like season 2 is going to be crazy. I've read the manga, so it just like you'd think season 1 was crazy. Not talking about like the inappropriate stuff, but like it gets crazy and crazier and crazier and crazier, and like really cool battles, really cool things happen. The way they weave the insane science fiction fighting and then this really interesting love story between Momo and Okuran is just woven throughout the whole
Beautiful.
thing. And you can tell they really care about each other. And Momo starts
Yes.
to get jealous of, and hey, by the way, Dandadan kind of sort of could be a harem anime because he starts collecting all these hot chicks around
Right.
him that have powers and become a part of the crew, right? And there's one other
Right.
dude besides Okuran.
Dude, what was it?
It's very
Episode
good.
7 that broke the internet? Like from season 1, everyone was obsessed with it. Was the ballerina episode. Everyone was flipping out about it. I'll admit, for me, like I
Acro
said,
Silky.
great story, but everyone overhyped, in my opinion. I really did. Like I said, I
The
like her
manga,
backstory. I love everything.
the
Great.
manga told it so much better.
Okay.
I made a video saying how the anime censored it because they kind of did, right? They kind
Yeah.
of did. It was still beautiful,
Mhm.
but the anime kind of veiled what
Right.
happened. Like the story of her and her daughter, they did a good
Mhm.
job, but
Mhm.
like they made it kind of vague that like she kind of unalives herself
Mhm.
basically. And the
Yeah.
manga makes it very clear, and
That's
it's
just
like
unveiled and you see
yeah, the
everything.
manga
Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
you on this emotional roller coaster, and you're like, "Oh my god, this is awful," and then they're just like, "Pow!" and you're like, "What?"
Mhm.
So the manga did it better,
Yeah.
but the Acro Silky thing, like that was a really, really good episode.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
It people, the world is full of people that have had trauma and things happen to them, and like
Mhm.
seeing her with her daughter and the things that she did with her daughter, I identify with that growing up, not having the best parents, being in a
Mhm.
really bad situation growing up.
Mhm.
So seeing stuff like that, you can identify with that. So I see why
Yeah.
it was so important to people and why people really connected with it. And there's just going to be more examples of that happening in future, episodes as seasons go on. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dan,
Anime Anime and manga. I'll say this quick note. Anime and manga is made for everyone. That's what I love about it. And I'll always identify with that. But also anime and manga are meant to push the boundaries. So
Yes.
anyone who gets upset about this, it's given the ability that regular actors aren't able to do.
Yes.
That's that. But getting into the next topic and all
Well,
that,
people get upset about it, and I'm like, you're mad about Dandadan, but you probably sat down with popcorn every Friday night to watch Game of Thrones, right? Like, or to watch some other BS crap that's out there. Like, Game of Thrones is great, don't get me wrong.
I was
Or
about
to
to say,
watch
hold
something
on.
else where it's
Hold
like
on.
they're pushing the boundaries as well, talking about things. So why
Yeah.
are we allowed to do it in live action and it's frowned upon here? Like, what?
I don't know. I really don't know. It doesn't. It baffles me all the time. And when people say, "Oh," like even your barber said, it's a little too intense. But these are also people who've seen like Game of Thrones. These people who like might watch Dexter. These are people who might watch stuff that just put like for me, honestly, The Walking Dead. I stopped watching it because I was like, I don't like all this gore. It's getting really gross and all that too. Like it was too much for me. But I've never been a big fan of gore. I never enjoyed that. Even with anime, I don't watch like gory animes. Like I still hate listening to Tokyo Ghoul with them snapping the fingers when he's doing like all the torture. That right there was such a hard episode for me to watch, but I had to watch because I made it that far. But to get a little lighthearted, a little ease from that before we go back into the gore, if hopefully not. But this summer is going to be the summer of romance. Starting off with My Dress Up Darling season 2 coming back. Fragrant flowers, whatever you want to call it, something flower stuff. Everyone's losing their mind of that. Call the Night season 2. Rascal Does Not Dream of Santa Claus, even though I do not believe that's a romance anime. I mean, Rent a Girlfriend season 4. How?
We
Whatever.
ranted about that last week.
How?
It's just
a couple of Cuckoos is coming back for a second season. I mean, there's so much coming out, and one is also people are gonna probably enjoy because of plot. It looks like is Ruby Rocks. That one, it doesn't really seem like it's gonna be that plot filling, but one that looks also Watori Kun's, that one might be pretty good actually.
Speaking of the summer of romance, so something like I love that we have, like, if you're new to listening to this podcast or watching, something that I love about this is, one, I've been a weeb for 25 years. You've been a weeb, and I give you the title weeb because
6 years
yeah,
now?
because you're like all in, like you really love it, right? I love fighting, battle shonen, fighting, Attack on Titan. Give me the crazy stuff like that. You love more of the like slice of life. You have a preference for that, right?
Yeah,
So
I mainly
about
stick to the romance side and action side, but for me, like if it's anything that's like horror or gory, it's
same. Not a huge horror fan, but
yeah.
My Dress Up Darling is, I it's just one of those animes that I forget about. I watched the first couple episodes and I'm like, I like this because I'm a big fan of the anime cosplay
Have you
world.
seen it? Yeah.
So now that season 2's out, I have more motivation. I'm like, I want to go back and watch season 1 because, like I said, I do like that, battle shonen type stuff. But I grew up on shows like Ranma One Half. Like, there's the original season of Ranma One Half in VHS right there. Like, I enjoy stuff like that as well. So, and I know My Dress Up Darling is incredibly popular, and I think it'll probably be one of
for certain reasons, but it actually has plot. It has, I mean, everyone loved it because of the jiggle fixes go insane on that. Any anime I've seen is probably that one.
The plot.
I watch it for the plot, everybody.
But it actually has plot. It really does. It has a great story. You see how these characters are, and then first off, Amelie is probably one of my favorite female voice actors out there. I think her emotion, and especially when she gets all giddy and excited, when you hear that, it's just like, when you find out that she is in love with him, that's probably one of my favorite voice actings ever, because like she's coming to realization, she's like, oh crap, like, am I really in love with him? And then she's like, I'm freaking in love with him. And then after everything after that is just like, you just want to hear her inner monologue. You want to hear what she's thinking, because like she does such a great job with that. I love the voice acting that she did with it. I thought it made it amazing. I love and hated the ending. I was so pissed. I was like, no. Okay, yeah,
don't spoil it for me.
I'm not. You'll be pissed, but definitely watch it. It actually has a great story, and the character development between all these characters, not just the two main characters, but the side characters too, and how they have depth. It's not, if I'm being honest, for me, I think there's more depth between tying the knot when it comes to stuff like that. But it's a great romance anime. and I think you really should watch it and you should finish it. But I'm really excited about season 2. Really excited.
I plan on it for sure. Okay, let's wrap up. I want to wrap up with the continuing anime, and we're going to do the one that I'm the most hyped for last. You mentioned Call of Night season 2, Dr. Stone Science Future Part 2. I know that people are going to be excited about it. People love the Dr. Stone franchise, so that's worth mentioning. But here we go. Hype. Kaiju number 8 season 2. All right.
I'm excited just because of you. Because of you.
We went through this. We had a whole like debate where we actually showed the healthy part of the anime community where he's like, I'm not into it, and I was like, well, you should. This is why you should really think about, like, you learn things. Kaiju number 8 season 2 is going to be great because the end of season 1, we see that Kafka was accepted into the 3rd division. He has to reveal that he has kaiju powers so that he can save everybody. And then in season 2, kind of season 1's really laying the groundwork. In season 2, you learn a lot more about the anti-kaiju defense force. You learn more about the hierarchy of power and the captains of each division. You get introduced to some great new characters. You start to learn about what I think is one of the coolest elements of Kaiju number 8 are the numbered weapons, where in this world, like, anytime a kaiju has been so powerful that it could destroy Japan, they give it a number ranking, right? And so in Kaiju number 8, the main antagonist is Kaiju number 9, right? So Kaiju number 8 is Kafka, and then Kaiju number 9 comes along, and he's like the next Billy Badass bad guy. So there's been 7 kaiju previous to that, and once those kaiju were killed, they have the technology to take the kaiju's body and they formulate a weapon out of it. Some type of a weapon that they entrust to their strongest fighters. And
so are they going to make a weapon out of Kafka?
Like they made, Captain Narumi, who is a new guy that we get introduced to, he wields a kaiju weapon. Little bit of spoiler, Reno Ichikawa, who's Kafka's friend, he becomes a wielder of a numbered weapon in the future. And so we'll learn more about that. Yeah. And so I think it'll be really cool because with Kaiju number 8 season 2, we're going to get more depth and backstory, more cool fights. We're going to learn more about the characters. And I like Kaiju number 8 a lot because it's not just shallow. It has some cool story behind it. And Kafka's a 34-year-old dude.
Right.
Who's never given up. And I think that's a really interesting part of Kaiju number 8. Yeah. I think that's a part that a lot of people gloss over, is that, like, no, the main character, he's not like 15. He's not like in his 20s. He's 34, 35 at the point, beyond the point where most people would have said, I guess my dream's never going to happen. Like, I'll give up. And he never gave up. And it's just such a great example of perseverance and having a dream and striving after that dream and never, ever giving up.
Because you never know what's going to happen. You really don't.
Yeah. And then, like, he goes from, I'll never get my dream, to like, oh crap, this crazy situation. There's a lot of people that are our age that identify with that. And I think it's super cool that was written that way, you know?
I mean, it honestly, the biggest thing is fake it till you make it. I think that's where everyone's at right now. I mean, it takes a long time. If you want to do something, just do it. If it's content creation or whatever, just do it. It's, you want to do the whole meme, just do it. Freaking literally just do it, because it gets to a point where who cares what you're going to do. I started my content creation because I wanted to find other people to talk anime about. Look what I'm doing now. I'm literally sitting here specifically talking about anime. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to find people to talk about anime. I'm specifically talking about anime. Now,
I think there
with his story.
Go ahead.
With his story, like I said, that right there, he didn't give up on his dream. He wanted something. He stuck with it. Now, like I said, you never know when something's going to happen. So I think that's the thing you got to realize. It worked out for him, and now he's doing what he's loved, and it benefited him. That could happen for you guys too.
Yeah. So I think there are, let's kind of go into our final segment. I think in my opinion, there's 3 really hyped new anime that are coming out this season that people are super, super stoked for. And let's talk about those, unless you have another one that you want to talk about.
I do want to talk real quickly actually about the isekais, because there's a lot of isekais that are returning. 2 of them that are going to come back is Reborn as Vending Machine. A lot of people said it actually had a good story, which how? It's a vending machine. I don't understand that. But a lot of people also watch because it has plot. So I wanted to see if that's actually worth watching. We'll see how season 2 does, because I'm not going to invest myself into a multiple season anime if it's a vending machine. Good lord. But then also one I gave up, but I kind of just watched the ending towards and kind of got like a recap of it, so I didn't have to watch it because I gave up on it. I think we've talked about this before, but I was reincarnated as a 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability season 2. Now that one I gave up on because I was weirded out. It was a little, like I said, I know anime pushes boundaries and all that, but like some boundaries, like let's take a step back. All right. Once I found out like your sister's actually like in love with you, kissing you and stuff, I'm like, that's where I draw the line.
Hey man, we talked about Game of Thrones earlier. Just take Cersei Lannister's approach. Like
exactly,
for centuries, people married their brothers and sisters.
But I'm not going to push a kid off of a tower, make him handicap and all that.
They shared a womb, Kyle. They shared a womb. They came into the world together. They're more than brother. I'm kidding. It's
no, but this one right here, though, I actually am excited to see it because first off, probably one of my favorite katana users of all time. The maid just made the show. Like that's. Yeah, the maid made the show, hands down. But one, I feel like it's going to start off probably pretty well, and then it's just going to be a dumpster fire. I hate to say it, but a lot of people are riding on this, is the Water Magician. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be doing very well, but I don't see how. I'm really excited to see because, you have certain specific honed power scales, I guess, for Isekai. That's a very generic thing of where, hey, they have one power. He might be a farmer. He might be, you have, what's the one where, I'm blanking on it now. Healer. That's it. Okay. The wrong way to use healing magic. I'm not talking redo healer. I'm talking about wrong way to use healer.
That's what I was going to say.
Very honed abilities. I liked it.
Yes. It's
so they're taking what they've been given.
Healing magic. It was such an interesting concept because they took that like, hey, you get this one power, and then somebody comes in and she's like, let me show you the wrong way to use this. And then you think about it and you're like, wow, that actually makes a lot of sense. Like, don't use the healing magic on yourself so that you can train so hard that you would probably kill yourself, like working so hard, but you're like,
instead of healing other people, think about it. Heal yourself so you can help other people. Then
heal yourself so you can become stronger than anybody else physically.
So I'm excited to see how that might work for the Water Magician.
Yeah, I'm
excited, but I'm really hesitant going to, like I said, if it performs, that's fine. I like being proven wrong, but looking at what I'm predicting, it might actually happen. But that's what I had to say about the isekais.
Yeah, I'm a fan of a good isekai. Don't get me wrong.
Sorry. Another one too. I didn't even put it in because it doesn't even register in my brain. I'm sorry. I just realized this too. Rise of the Shield Hero season 4. Nothing needs to be said about that. If you're still watching it, God help your soul. All right.
If you're still watching it, you'll enjoy it. Season 1 was great. That's all we'll say. Okay. Let's wrap up with the 3 new anime that are coming out that I think everybody's talking about. I personally am really, really excited about. And one of them's in a genre that I'm not like normally a big fan of.
Can I make a prediction real quick of what it is? Okay. Yeah. So prediction of what we've talked about in this podcast already. And it's also what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully we're on the same page. Toganaki or Anki or something. Oh. I'm excited for it though. Oh, okay.
I'll give my 3 and then you give your 3. Okay.
Yes.
A brief synopsis.
I love it.
We've got Lord of Mysteries, which is it's kind of like a Chinese story. Seems really cool. I love like the mystery element of things like, for example, the newest Batman movie. I loved the newest Batman movie because it showed the side of the detective of Batman. Because people
you don't see that a lot either.
Yeah. People forget that Batman's supposed to be, he's lauded as like the world's best detective. And so the Batman showed him as a detective.
But look at Batman. Everyone says is that like give Batman prep time. He's going to win no matter what. Power scaling, anything like that. Give Batman prep time. He's going to win because they don't realize he's got the brains for it. So that's what people don't realize. That's what I loved about because they actually show like, hey, he's got the detective side. So yes.
So I'm always interested in a new like mystery style show. So Lord of Mysteries seems really interesting because of that. It's got like steampunky stuff, which I love, and then there's the supernatural elements and stuff, which is cool. And then the one that I'm not most excited for this one, but the one I am really excited for this is the summer that Hikaru died. It looks
that was mine.
Really cool, man.
Dude, it really does.
Like,
but it's horror. But It's
Well,
good.
I don't
It
know.
looks
I don't know if
amazing.
it's going to be horror as much as going to be like a thriller type of a thing.
I think it's getting more like summertime rendering kind of style, where
That's
it's
the
like,
vibe that I'm getting.
yes,
Summertime. Oh my
exactly,
god!
dude.
Talk about an
Yes.
anime that not enough people talk about. Summertime
Oh.
rendering is just fantastic. But what we can
I think
do,
it did go off on its own end, kind of like almost Darling in the
did.
Franxx towards the end, but it was such a
It's
great
so good.
ride.
But
Loved it.
yeah, the summer Hikaru died. It just seems like such a great story to me. Like you've got
Mhm.
two best friends that, you know, I mean, we all understand the concept of having a best friend, right? And then like one of them dies and confesses his love for the other one, and then comes back as like this otherworldly thing,
Right.
and like all the stuff that happens after that. Like I'm
It's like
really looking forward to
summertime
that.
rendering meets Anohana. That's what
Mhm.
that's what I'm expecting. If those who don't understand those animes, probably don't watch Onohana, watch summertime rendering.
Yeah. Summertime rendering is great. And then Gachi Yakuta. Like
Okay.
I've been interested in Gachi Yakuta since Anime Expo of last year, which I'm going to
Same.
Anime Expo again in a few days. And I've never read it because I've said this previously. I pay for the Shonen Jump subscription, so I can
Mhm.
watch any shonen, or I can read any Shonen Jump manga.
Okay.
And Gachi Yakuta isn't Shonen Jump. Gachi Yakuta is
Wait,
it's
what?
not show. It's is it Viz? No, Viz and Shonen Jump work together. It's something
Let me
else.
see.
Gachikuta isn't Viz or Shonen Jump. It's another company.
Okay.
And I didn't want to pay for another subscription, so I've been wanting to read Gachikuta, but I haven't. But the English trailer just came out that reveals like the English voice actors and stuff. It
Mhm.
just looks so good. It takes like, I love worlds that are in like post-apocalyptic worlds where there's this crazy caste system or hierarchical system that's been implemented, and then it's about like somebody who's at the bottom trying to rise above and like break through the norms and everything. I love that dystopian
Yeah.
concept. And this adds in like this whole trash society and being able to make crazy different things, and it
You
just
got like a little bit of like the art style of Soul Eater almost, kind of with that
Mhm.
going into it. I'm really excited about
it
it.
looks like it's going to be fun. Now,
Yes.
it could pull a T-bait on us for all we know, but
That's gonna be hard, dude.
from the
That's really
trailers, it
like,
doesn't
so
look like it's going to do that.
T-bait, there's really no excuses now. When it comes to Blue Lock, there is somewhat of excuse. So hopefully, maybe, you know, when they could do another season, not another movie, dear Lord, please, not another movie, another season. Hopefully, they fix this. I'm still giving it hope, but T-bait, it's lost any hope for me. I don't know why I got a season 2. My 3, obviously, Summer Hikaru died. I am super excited about that. Cannot wait for it. Another one that's actually reoccurring, but I'm actually excited to see is Grand Blue Dream in season 2. But
Okay.
since we're on that style, again, Togen Anki, however you pronounce it, that one actually looks really good visually. But that one I could see doing a T-bait situation, because you see these effects, and for those who don't know, this guy uses blood as a weapon. So if you don't know, like if you like Beyond the Boundary, that this is kind of almost your kind of style too, but a little more grittier art style. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not 100% sure if it'll perform. Studio Hibari is going to be doing it, that I see, and then also Bones Film is doing Gachikuta, and Bones has done pretty good anime. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So I'm that's why I'm a little bit. I don't know about Studio Hibari, what they've done. Uh, Apparently, they've done Classroom of the Elite, so that's good. And they did High Card, which High Card actually is a great anime that's very underrated. People haven't seen. I don't know if you've not seen it or not. It is a great action anime that you should watch. So
High Card?
High Card, yes,
Okay.
great action anime. It's pretty much these people have there's like a deck of cards, and each card has a power, and the power is, you know, whatever number card face you have, it gives you certain powers, and people go around trying to hunt them down. It's like almost like a battle royale. Almost, they're hunting down other people for their cards, and trying to create, I guess, like the ultimate weapon. I think there's 2 seasons or a couple seasons of it. I haven't finished all of it, but it is very underrated. Yeah, there's so far I'm looking at, there's multiple seasons of this anime. Very underrated. Definitely watch High Card.
Interesting side about Togenanki. There's this company that like I've applied with and stuff that like they do PR with creators. So they're sending me a Togenanki PR kit as of like 3 weeks ago, and
How
it
do you
never
talk
got
to
here.
these people, man?
I don't
need
know.
to talk
People
to these
just
people.
find me, bro.
Oh my
But like they were like,
goodness.
hey, we'll send you a PR kit for Togenanki, and then like all we want you to do is show it off. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I can talk about the anime and just be like, hey, I got a PR kit, check it out. And it's never come. And I told my wife, I was like, this show comes out this month. I was like, I guarantee you this stinking PR kid is going to show up while I'm in LA for Anime Expo.
So, oh, really?
I bet you that's what happens.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay. The amount of disappointment, I was like, the jealousy, almost outrage I had when I saw people getting the last Avatar Airbender, the Avatar The Last Airbender, the PR promotion, pickle juice and onion juice things. Did you see those?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you've seen Avatar, right? Okay, so in there, towards the end of the anime, towards the end of it, there is a scene that's kind of like a big defining moment for the character that he has to like release all of this chakras that he's holding in his body to get into the Avatar state to have full control of it, to control his powers. The thing is, though, is the only thing he's allowed to eat, because there's a guru there that's helping him do this. The only thing he's allowed to eat is pickled juice. I think no, it's not pickled juice. It's onions and bananas and a juice. That's it.
Interesting.
And so with that, it is iconic. I saw so many content creators getting the freaking banana and onion juice, and everyone said it tastes exactly what you expected. I don't care. I want it.
And
I
you're
want
just
it.
FOMO, and
How
you're
much
like,
I love that anime. The anime. How much I love it. I was like, give me it. You know, that's why I also
boy, we can have a conversation about that.
I definitely do need content creation, not content creation. I do definitely need to go to conventions to get this networking gun like doing, because like I my networking skill, that's probably like my goal for 2025 is just work on my networking. Because I want the freaking banana onion juice. I need it. But
I just want the banana onion juice like everybody else,
give
man.
it to me, dude. All right. And I've heard so many bad stories about like when they drank is like, oh, it's actually like it's rough. But to finish it off, Watari Kun's it's bleeped out. I don't know the full is about to collapse. That anime is also one I think is going to probably be like just a little fluff piece. It's not expecting too much from this anime, but just like your generic trash anime you just want to throw on, just have a good time. It could surprise me, but that's another one I'm actually looking forward to. Like out of the top 3, those are probably like, besides reoccurring, most of it is reoccurring. That, like I said, we are being blessed eating good.
Oh, for sure. And then, I mean, in conjunction with like, obviously new anime is exciting, right? Like everybody's excited about new anime. We have a lot of anime fans like yourself. They're, new within the past decade, and everybody's excited about new anime. I've been on a kick lately of watching classics again, right? So really? I told you I watched Madoka Magica. I'm going through Evangelion, and it's like, it's really cool to, I can understand. So I'll say Evangelion, I don't think it's going to end up being one of my favorites, but I'm going through it. I'm enjoying it. It looks so good. It's so visually appealing. I can only watch an episode or 2 at a time, but it's interesting when what I'm getting at is like you watch Evangelion that came out in 1995, 1996, 30 years ago, and you can put it up just visually up next to stuff that's coming out today, and you're like, this looks just as good, if not better, than some of the stuff that's coming out today.
They did very well with that because they had the time and resources to do it. But let me ask you this. Have you gotten to the elevator scene? Or no, escalator scene?
The escalator scene?
Okay, so you haven't gotten there.
I'm on episode 13.
Okay, you might be getting close to it. I think when you get there, just text me. Okay, you'll know it
because there's an elevator scene where Misato gets stuck in the elevator with that other guy, the womanizer dude.
Oh yeah, no, well,
that's not it. Okay,
there's technically an elevator scene. Yes, that you're like,
but you're talking about escalator scene. Okay.
But there is an escalator scene. All right, that right there, when you watch it, just text me. Because trust me, you'll know. That's all I have to say. You'll know.
You're going to get a text from me. What the fuck?
Dude.
Probably.
The amount of times I had to start and stop this anime because literally a buddy of mine who never watches anime recommended it. He's even gone back and rewatched it. And he's like, dude, just give it a chance. Like, because I got to like episode 7. I was like, dude, this is terrible. I can't watch it. He's like, oh no, you got to the good part. And then this, I watch more. I was like, I can't. He's like, no, you got to get there. And then when does it get good? Because it doesn't. And then he's like, oh, you got to watch the movies. Everyone says the movies are good. I haven't watched them. I'm banking on the movie to save it because the
way I look at
trash.
Is if an anime, if people are really like, if something's really popular and it's 12 to 24 episodes, I'm like, okay, I can watch it just to, because of what I do for a job, right? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I can watch it just to have the context, right? Just to have the context of what, so that's, I'm going through, because I've started watching Evangelion so many times, and stopped around episode 3 like every time. And this time I'm like, okay, I'm
So
gonna do it
painful.
every night. I watch an episode or two. I'm just gonna get through it, and I want the context of what everybody thinks about the show. But what I'm getting at is all this new anime coming out.
Yes.
Let's not forget there's a ton of classics out there too that are just as good, if not better, than some of them. And I've been on a kick of making videos about like classic anime, 90s anime, stuff like that, just to kind of get the word out there for newer fans that, hey, there's really good old
There's
stuff
other ones out there.
too.
You don't have to watch just new stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm enjoying Tying the Knot right now. And it came out in 2024, so last year, but I am freaking enjoying it. So sometimes they're like, yes, we are being saturated with so much anime and honestly so much trash, but there are some great gems out there. And that's
There
why
are.
you need
They
someone
truly are.
like me or Will to help you find these gems. But I'm sorry, I can't let it go. Evangelion, when you get to the end, okay, that's another time. You don't even need to text me. You don't even text me once you get to the final episode, you watch it. Because I'm going to be honest, you probably don't even want to talk about it. You probably won't even want to talk about it because
Fun.
of that. It just,
Fun.
yeah.
It made me so excited to keep watching it.
Oh, dude, you have to watch it. I mean, and I think it's a rite of passage, but also it's just, it can be used as a form of torture. As for me, I think it's like the Geneva Convention needs to talk about this.
There
There's
are certain
so much.
episodes that I'm like, this is really weird. This is a trippy episode. Like, okay.
And the main
Okay.
reason why I watched because everyone compares the table scene from Code Geass and the hospital scene from Neon Genesis. Now, I've seen both of them, and I don't know. Everyone was comparing which one was better. Or not better, I guess, which one was worse and which one wasn't needed. If I'm being honest, I hate to say this. Everyone says, oh, it was the hospital scene. The hospital scene actually is kind of needed, and it makes a lot of sense, even though it is freaking messed up, way more messed up than the table scene.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea what you're talking about.
Thank
anyway.
God. Thank
Yeah.
God you are still saved.
Yeah.
Don't look them up.
It'll happen.
Oh God. But the thing is, when you watch this stuff, like you understand it and it's completely messed up, but it gives depth to the character, the depth that they've been setting up for this long time. If you look at his past, if you look at how great a father he has, you see all this stuff leading up to it. It makes sense. And you see their relationship on how they go back and forth and what happens with the hospital scene. Like I said, messed up. I'm not advocating for it all, but it actually makes sense to be in the story. The table scene also makes sense of being in the story. It shows what happens later on for Code Geass. So they both add value to the movie or to the show, whatever you want, but it wasn't needed, but it also was needed. That's my point.
Hey, just watch some Peak, everybody, and go watch Blue Gender, okay? It's not on any official streaming sites. You have to actually buy DVDs or pirate it, but it's very, very good.
That's one you recommended me, right?
Yeah, I have the whole thing right here. Like, boom, baby.
I guarantee you I can find it on my sites, dude. I
Who
could
knows?
probably.
Yeah, well, you can find it on any pirate site, but I mean, it's not like on Crunchyroll or HDive or anything like that. But yeah, that's Summer Anime 2025. If you're watching or listening,
18 plus. Oh.
Yeah, it's I would give it an R rating. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it an R rating.
And it's dubbed?
Yeah. Do you know who is this will blow your mind?
Okay.
Do you know who is the lead actor, the English dub lead actor for Yuji Kaito? It's Eric Vale. Do you know who Eric Vale is?
No.
Eric Vale's Trunks, Shigaraki from My Hero Academia.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I've had the pleasure of interviewing him a few times and told him like, hey, dude, I'm a massive Blue Gender fan. And he goes, whoa, nobody talks to me about that. He goes, Blue Gender was my first lead role ever.
Dude, this is some like...
It's a star-studded cast from...
No, I'm looking at like the images of the anime.
Yeah.
First off, it's mecha based, I'm assuming.
It's mecha sci-fi dystopian. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got some weird stuff like that. Some of it looks really questionable.
It's very good. Like the world's been overrun by these alien bug creatures called the Blue, and humanity has escaped to Second Earth, which is like a space station.
Oh, that looks 18 plus right there.
Yeah. I mean, I would put it on par with like Attack on Titan level brutality. There's also some questionable scenes that happen that like what do you think that happens between male and female soldiers when you're on planet Earth and there's no government and like
I'm looking at it right now. Yeah. It's got some plot.
It has plot.
Okay.
It's got good plot. So go watch Blue Gender. But guys, that's Summer Anime 2025. Let us know if we didn't mention something that you're hyped about. If there's an anime that's coming out and you're hyped about it, let us know in the comments below. And if you think one of our recommendations is trash, please, by all means, go off in the comments and tell us how terrible we are from behind the safety of your keyboard/cell phone. We would love to know.
Definitely. Please let us know.
Until next time, guys, we'll see you later.